Hi, I'm Milton Rendell and welcome to Real News Friday. Been another interesting week. The state government's obviously changed a few things around in the last couple of weeks, and there's a few of the borders have come down, which is great, although we're still locked into West Australia, but there's quite a debate about that, as we were all here. Certainly New South Wales and Victoria would like us to open up. But what's probably more important is, which is fantastic, obviously it appears that this viral challenge is slowly coming under control. I don't think we'd ever say it's fully under control, but certainly the statistics in terms of people that are ill and passed away is certainly far more encouraging than it was 6 or 8 weeks ago. So plenty of good news happening out there. From a real estate point of view, last week in West Australia was 511 recorded sales through the Real Estate Institute of West Australia. Stock levels still around 11,603, which is still down at roughly about 30% on last year, down about 3.8% on what it was about a month ago. And in terms of sales, the volume was down about 6.6% on the previous week. But certainly better than where we were 4 weeks ago when we were in the 200s, so that's very encouraging. Number of rentals on the market at the moment, 5,162, which is down about 29% on what it was 12 months ago. 1,051 properties were leased last week in West Australia, so things are still happening. So despite what people are saying, there's over 1,500 transactions just on the residential side in terms of either people leasing or buying property, and that's certainly some encouraging signs. So I think probably if you have a look at the last couple of weeks, the leasing's been up a little bit, but we did have a small lag obviously in sales, so people got to live somewhere, so one area is going to pick up, which has obviously been the leasing. So is there any pressure to rentals as yet? No, because obviously the marketplace doesn't have that as yet, but I think coming into early next year we'll probably see some pressure to rents if people aren't buying. In terms of buying at home opens from the weekend, we were quite busy. Inquiries have been quite busy, and we have several offers floating around through the group. So people are starting to commit. Interest has been in the lower end of the market, which we haven't seen for some time, particularly in the last 2 weeks. Had very, very strong interest under 400,000 in this area. As we know, around the Midland area, there's certainly probably some really good buyers around the 300 mark. So, I think people are realising that and certainly returning to the area, so which is really, really encouraging. So we're seeing some positives. The other thing, of course, when we've talked about is interest rates. I would encourage people now to start doing some homework as to what their ability to do what they want to do. Whether you're a seller or whether you're a buyer, you should be going back and having a chat with your bank or your broker. You're certainly welcome to talk to Daniel here at Plus Loans at any time to see what your options are, because it is about changeover and what you can afford to do. And I would really encourage for many of you to go back and have a look. If you don't think you're going to sell over the next 3 years, go back and have a look at your interest rate, have a chat to your banks. You probably can lock in at probably a rate around about 2.29, 2.3 maybe, or 2.5. It's sort of in those sort of ranges. And save yourself a few dollars. I know I was talking to a friend of mine who was still on 4.2% the other day, and when I told him I got 2.29, then he fell off his chair. So go off and investigate, because this is, although it seems a strange environment, it is a very, very good environment to go off and do some homework. These conditions of marketplace in terms of interest rates and pricing are not going to be here forever. You can't procrastinate forever. For those people who are thinking about selling or have thought about selling in the last 18 months and have sat on the fence or withdrawn their property off the market previously, I'd encourage you to go back and have a look, redo the maths, look to where you're relocating and look to what you're doing with your money. I think some of it will make quite good sense when you start looking at the interest rates and what it is, how affordable it is for you. Just on last week, I gave the economists a bit of a hard time. I've copped a bit of flack over that, so if I offended any economists out there, sorry, but it was just a bit of a dig. It wasn't intentional at anyone in particular, but I think the marketplace and the economy in general has been very difficult to predict in the last few years, particularly here in West Australia. But I think we've got to focus on what's happening here in West Australia. That's the essence of my message. You got to look at your own backyard first and worry about the chaos of the others later on. Anyway, all the best. Check out realestateplus.com.au.